Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classrooms. In our chapter of alcohol phenol ethers, we have seen the classification of all the three functional groups. Today we will study IUPAC for all the three of them one by one. So first of all, we will study IUPAC for alcohols. Now, the rules are going to be the same. Only the functional group has changed. So that suffix prefix will be changed, right? For this, for the IUPAC, what is it? We are going to have it as an prefix hydroxy. We will be getting the prefix for the alcohol as hydroxy, and the suffix we will be getting it as an OL, alcohol. Suffix as OL, ol, right? Now we want to understand that when should I write it as an hydroxyl group, when we should write it as an OL, and how to write the IUPAC. So first of all, when we are talking about the IUPAC, the rule is find out the longest chain, highest, then find out the functional groups, number to the carbon chain in such a way that highest reactive functional group gets least number. These are all the same rules that we did it for the halogens. Same thing we did it even in the 11th standard, the general IUPAC nomenclature. Here we know that I am going to have it as an highest reactive group as an OH, right? Because I am studying it only specifically for alcohols. So I will be having it as an OH. So I have to number it in such a way that OH gets least number, maybe from front, maybe from back, maybe from anywhere. The longest chain I am taking it. Accordingly, I will be having it, right? Okay, now let's have it. Why should I write it hydroxy, or why should I write it as an OH? Can I write it for any given compound as hydroxy, or can I write it any given compound as OL? No. For that case, it's specified that if higher reactive functional group with suffix is present in the compound, then OH group will be specified by hydroxy as prefix. If more reactive group is there, and that is also as a suffix, that reactive group is as a suffix, then only the OH group will come out as prefix, otherwise with the suffix of OL. Right, let's see it for both of them, a certain examples. First of all, it's a common, we are having it as an hydroxy group, we are going to have it as an OH specifically for this chapter. So we'll see that what are the OL group, how to write the name for it, right? So for that case, these rules are going to remain same, they are not going to change. Only the thing is the suffix prefix of the compounds are going to change. If I am having it as a CH3OH group, right? I am having one carbon, so it's a methane, and its suffix OL So compound will be termed as methanol. E is going to be removed from the hydrocarbon and OL group is attached as an suffix. So methanol. If I am having it as an CH3, CH2OH, we will term it as ethanol. Right? Now, if I am having it for this compound, I don't need to specify the position of the OH group because it will be always first. Here it's having only one carbon, here you are having it as an either of the carbon is going to become first. But now when I am having it as in the compound CH3, CH2, CH2OH, I can't write it simply propane, I have to write it as propane vanol. Right? Because you can have it as in the OH group with the longest chain of propane, but the position of the OH group at this time is 2. Propane 2. Right? If I am having it as in CH3, CH3, OH, then also I am going to have it as a longest chain of 3 carbons only. But this time I got it as an additional methyl group also present on it. So it will be termed as 2-methyl propane 2. Right? So that means for methanol, ethanol, you are having it as an option whether you are writing the position of the OH group or not, it will be immaterial. But for the rest of the compounds, the position of the OH group is necessary to be indicated. Right? And the position of the OH group will be written with the suffix itself. Right? So this is a particular method to write the suffix. Clear? Okay. Now, similarly, when we are having it as a higher reactive group present with it, right? We are going to have it as an only a few compounds with it, but still, let's have it as a compound, like we are having it as in CHO, CH, OH, CH3. I am having it as in both CHO as well as OH group present on the same compound. Now I know it that CHO is more reactive, so it's going to be with a suffix of Al. Actually for aldehyde group we are having suffix Al, and here for the OH group we are having suffix OL. Two suffix cannot be specified, and that's the reason why what we will write it is 2-hydroxy propane 1-al. Right? So if more reactive group is there and it is having it as a suffix, then it becomes compulsory for us to write it in the form of prefix. So that is what you will have to be careful while writing it, whether the given compound is having it as a suffix or with a higher reactive suffix, then hydroxy will become as a prefix. Right? Similarly, when we are having it as a, now for phenols, for the phenols also, when we are writing it as an OH group to the phenol, right? Now phenol, it's an accepted IUPAC name. It's not as an actually IUPAC name. It's an accepted as an IUPAC name. Its actual IUPAC name will be hydroxybenzene. This is its IUPAC. Right? This is its accepted IUPAC. That's the difference. Right? We accepted it. Though we are knowing it that it's not IUPAC, but still what we are doing it is, we are accepting it as an IUPAC. Because when we will be going it for the nomenclature of this compound, like I am having it as an OH with CH3. So in that case what will happen? OH is more reactive. Its position is 1. This is 2. So 2-methyl. Now benzene and OH. How can I write for this hydroxybenzene? I will write it as hydroxybenzene. But in place of that what we are doing it is 2-methyl phenol. We have accepted it as an IUPAC. So we write this compound as 2-methyl phenol. Suppose if I am having it as an Cl group attached to the third position, so we write it as 3-chlorophenol, right? So phenol, we have accepted it as an IUPAC, so every time we will be writing it as an phenol, no need to write the hydroxybenzene. But if you are being told specifically that write exact IUPAC name of the phenol also, then phenol will be termed as hydroxybenzene. Okay, so that is for the IUPAC of the phenols, right? Now ethers. Ethers, we are having it as an oxy suffix, right? But here you have to be very careful, because we can have it as in simple as well as mixed ethers. If I am having simple ethers, there won't be a problem. Whichever the chain you are writing it oxy, it's going to remain same. But when you are having it as in mixed ethers, then in those mixed ethers we will have to specify the oxy to the specific chain, because one will become as a main chain, one will become as a functional group. So for that case, we write it as the chain with more number of carbon atoms are considered as main chain, that is word root, and the smaller chain as functional group, which has been given suffix oxy. To the smaller chain, we will be writing with the suffix oxy. If I want to write this compound, let's have it as in one or two examples for it. CH3O CH3. Now see, this is one carbon, this is one carbon. It's a simple ether. So either of it, this oxygen goes to the either of it. It's going to be written as methoxymethane. Right? Either of it. It's the same. If I'm writing it as in C2H5O C2H5, it's going to be written out as ethoxyethane. But in place of that, if I'm having it as a compound CH3O C2H5, so that means one side I'm having it as in 2 carbon chain, on the other side I'm having only 1 carbon chain, so it becomes compulsory that the smaller one will get the oxy. So it's compulsory methoxyethane. If I'm writing it ethoxy methane, then this is my wrong name, because bigger chain I have to consider it as longest chain as a word root. So because of it, I will have to take it as an alkene series, right? Similarly, if I am having it, suppose CH3O C6H5, that is a benzene, then for this what will be getting it? Methoxybenzene. The compound will be termed as methoxybenzene, right? So that is what you have to be careful when you are having it as an mixed ethers. Then the smaller chain will get the oxygen, the bigger chain will get it as a main chain as a word root separated out. Okay, so that is what the IUPAC. Now you can take your textbook and you can make and practice. The table is given in your textbook. There are the certain compounds with IUPAC as well as common names. So make it as an confirm that you make a number of practice of this type of functional groups. Even in the exercise, you have been given out some questions which are having it as a double bond, OH group, benzene ring, attached to it, and then you have to write the IUPAC name of those compounds, right? Rules are same, so you have already studied in 11th, now you have studied in the previous chapter of chapter number 10 for the halogens. Same rules, only the suffix prefix, what you have to use it, that is changed, right? Only suffix prefix of the compound, so you can do it, right? Hope so, right? Okay, the next topic we are having, it is the structures of alcohol, phenols and ethers. Electronic structures. First of all, alcohols, right? Now see, electronic structures for the alcohol, phenol and ether, they are going to be very, very important. They can be not only as an asked as an explain, draw the structure, but even they can be given out as an give reason to us. Now let's check it. What is it? For the alcohol, that means I am taking it as an example of CH3OH. What will happen? Carbon is there, which is attached with 3 hydrogens and 1 OH. It's going to be sp3 hybridized, right? Okay. Now for this, the bond angle, we got it as 109 degree 28 minutes. So that is not a problem for us. But the problem that will be arise now for us is we are having it as an OH group. When this OH group is there, it's going to be attached to the carbon as an oxygen with 2 lone pairs, and one is going to be an hydrogen. Now these oxygen, not only the carbon, it's an sp3, but the oxygen is also sp3. Now if I am having it as an carbon with an oxygen and it's an sp3 hybridized, what should be its bond angle? Now its bond angle should be 109 degree 28 minutes, because for all the sp3 hybridized orbitals, that is tetrahedrally, it's an 109 degree 28 minutes, but it's not so for the alcohol. It's becoming it as an 108 degree, 108.9 degree. In some books it is written as 108.9, in some books it's written as 108.5. That is a variation. But what is it? What the actual factor I want to study it is, it's not 109 degree 28 minutes. That means it's not actually 109.5 degree. It's not there. Why there is a change in the bond angle of this compound? The reason that we are going to specify that according to VSEPR theory, we studied in 11th, valence shell electron pair repulsion, that there is a maximum repulsion between the 2 lone pairs. So they will occupy the maximum space. And because these 2 are there which are occupying the maximum space, there is a shrinking of the bonded electron pairs, and as a result the bond angle decreases, and from this is because of this 109.5, it is reduced to 108.9, right? So that is because of VSEPR theory, and the compound is having 2 lone pair of an electrons attached with the oxygen atoms, right? Okay, now that was for the alcohols, right? Okay, what are the other points that we are going to study for it? Carbon and oxygen, both are sp3 hybridized. That means carbon is having it as an 4 sigma bonds, or oxygen is having 2 sigma bonds. It's been fixed out, right? The bond angle, we are going to get it as COH. The bond angle is 108.9 degree. The change is because of 2 lone pairs that are attached to it. Okay, that is the electronic structure for the alcohols. Now, electronic structure of phenols. What we will be having it? Phenol means we are having it as a benzene ring, and to this benzene ring 1 oxygen, 1 hydrogen. This is also having 2 lone pairs, right? During this case, again this carbon is carbon is sp2, so its bond angle inside is going to be 120. But when we are talking about carbon, oxygen and hydrogen, where oxygen we are having it as an sp3, it's containing 2 lone pairs, right? What should be the bond angle of carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and this carbon is of benzene ring. Now this is specifically for the aromatic nucleus, phenols, right? This is sp2, sp3, but still the bond angle, in spite of 109.5 degree, it's not coming out to be as an 109, it comes out to be as a 109 degree. Now see, it's not similar to alcohol also. Alcohol 108.5 or 108.9 we wrote it, whereas for the phenol we got it as 109. That means this bond angle is somewhat elaborated, right, compared to that of alcohols, but shrinked compared to that of their actual hybridization. Now what is the reason for it? It is also containing 2 lone pairs, but what will happen? One of the lone pair of oxygen goes for resonance. So now we are not having it as in 2 lone pairs. Out of this, one has gone for resonance in the benzene ring. One of the lone pair has taken part for the resonance, so only one lone pair is left out, and now we are having it as a no lone pair repulsion. We are having it as a lone pair bonded pair, so that means they are comparatively less repulsion between the lone pair bonded pair as compared to that of lone pair. So because of one electron pair being utilized for the resonance of the oxygen, only one lone pair is left out, and therefore the bond angle shrinks to a smaller extent, not like an alcohol to the larger extent, right? Okay. And the third one, we are having it as an electronic structure of ethers. Now, ethers, they are all having it as in different bond angles. Bond angles of these ethers are not remaining same, because it depends upon the functional group, it depends upon the number of carbon atoms in the chain. That is a bulky group, we term them as a bulky group which is attached to it. So we are going to discuss specifically for CH3OCH3. We are discussing it specifically for methoxymethane or dimethyl ether. This is also having lone pair. Now see what happens. Here the chain has been, the bond angle has been become bigger compared to that of it. Here also oxygen is sp3, so its bond angle should be 109.5, but it's not so, and it's 111.7. Now the change is because here we are having it as a carbon bulky group attached to it. It's not a smaller chain. We are having it as a group to it. So these groups, they are having their own repulsion between them. These 2 carbon chains, they are having their own repulsion between them, though they are having an VSEPR theory to be applied over there for the lone pair. The bonded compounds are being in bulky groups, so they occupy the space, and because of that what happens, they want themselves to be away from one another, and as a result your bond angle is going to become 111.7. Now depending upon these bulky groups depending upon these bulky groups, the change, these angles formations are going to change. So this electronic structure is specifically for methoxymethane, not like for alcohols or phenols. It's not a common electronic structure. Okay, we studied it as an IUPAC and electronic structure. We got it the reasons. We got it as an hybridization also for the given compounds. In our next lecture, we will be studying it related to the preparation of alcohols. Right? Till then, thank you.